I just keep turning off, but I'm pretty sure it's be okay on its own. Alright, so my presentation is gonna be on gun dealers and how can we take these weapons off the wrong hands. After the
At the end.
I'm sorry to stop you there real quick, sir. I'm a little deaf. If you could like speak up a little bit, that'd be awesome. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, no problem. Alright.
Go ahead.
Alright, so my presentation is on gun dealers and how can we take it off the wrong hands. So licensed gun dealers, they have to do background checks on weapons people sell to them, and even licensed gun dealers buying off other licensed gun dealers. So let's say if you don't pass the background check, this means that person is usually convicted of a crime, murder or armed robbery. So however, if you're selling your weapon to this licensed gun dealer and you don't pass it, doesn't mean they're gonna arrest you or anything, but you do get your money still. However, it does create tension when you're in the store and even when you start walking out. So benefits of a licensed gun dealer. So you get a wholesale price off the gun. So you get most licensed gun dealers, they get 30% discount off the gun they're buying from another FFL. Then also a lot of FFLs, they create their business, so that's why a lot of people get their FFL to start selling weapons. And what I think is cool is that it also opened up more jobs for other people. As an FFL, you can buy another from other gun sellers, but they mostly recommend you buying it from another FFL, and FFL means for Federal Firearm License. Moving on to unlicensed gun dealers. So they're not legally required for background checks, but however, these are where most like people who are trying to commit a crime or just trying to get a weapon to have. So this means like strangers cannot buy firearms from other strangers without having to answer any number of important questions. And regarding their criminal history or mental health problems. As I said, these weapons usually end up on crime scenes, police investigations, robberies, and murders. However, unless the gun dealer, he doesn't get doesn't get in trouble if he sells these weapons to people who don't have FFLs, and I think that's a major problem today. And also, unlicensed gun dealers, they don't have to. It's not legal or illegal to not be a licensed gun dealer. So, universal background checks. So, recent cases in the Allied gun dealing around the country was charges for a superior with the U.S. Custom and Border Patrol in Southern California. I'm not gonna really get into depth about that because there's a lot to say. So how can we take these off the wrong hands? So what I recommend in U.S. recommends you go to a gun dealer and a gun shop. Basically the same thing. They have if you want to be at a gun shop, you have to be an FFL. They don't allow unlicensed gun dealers to sell their guns or do gun shopping over there. Moving on to, however, the government is not adding. I don't think the government is adding enough funds to gun dealers and gun shops. They're basically the same thing. I don't think it's right because if a person is, let's say if there's 100 people trying to sell their gun to a gun dealer, and the gun dealer can only afford 50, so that means there's 50 still out there, and those weapons could go to the wrong hands, streets, kids, teenagers, stuff like that. So that's why I think the government should add more funds to gun dealers and gun shops. Biden on FFL gun shops. So I know today, today there's been a lot of shootings in the U.S., and which I think is bad. Um, however, taking 237 gun shops out of business, I don't think is alright. What I think we should do as New York and Rhode Island, they just put out a new law that you have to be at least 21, and also they added more um, funds and more background checks for people trying to purchase a weapon. So it does cost more now to buy weapons in states that you could buy. In legal states, you could buy these weapons from. So as of June 2021, the ATF reported that there's 133,716 FFLs in all 50 states. So I want to say 1.5 million guns were sold in the United States in February. However, there has been a 32% drop in previous months, which I think is great, according to Small Arms Analytics and Forecasting. So other than adding more funds to the gun stores and gun dealers, I think creating more gun stores around the country with a good amount of funds from the government can prevent people from going to the hustle of finding an unlicensed gun dealer or making a wrong decision by selling it to a person trying to use it for crime or wrong hands, or because I don't think any person should really own a weapon. However, I know it's okay for people to own it for their own protection. What I mean by this is that usually if people can't do background, sell it to an FFL because they probably done something bad with it. I also think that licensed gun dealers should even take these weapons from people trying to sell it to them, because most people know they can't sell their weapons to FFLs because they did crime with it, or it's been in someone else's hand that they used for robbery or such thing, police investigations. So I think they should just still take it from them, so it's still not with them, or it doesn't end up somewhere else like an unlicensed gun dealer, so they can sell it to another convict. So my conclusion, so I explained like how there's dealers and licensed gun dealers and undealers, the benefits of both of them, and I do think the best dealers to go to are the licensed dealers. I think unlicensed dealers shouldn't be selling weapons at all to anyone. I think everyone should get a license to own a weapon, because politically you're supposed to I think it's only right, because every FFLs have to do background checks for every weapon they sell, and how we should add more funds to gun dealers so they can purchase these weapons off the wrong hands. Like I said, there's 100 people selling their weapons to gun dealers, then we can take 100 of those off instead of just 50. And that's my speech. Thank you. Is there any questions?
So the licensed gun dealer has to get a background check as well versus the unlicensed background check person? They don't get a background check?
Like when they want to become an FFL,
Yeah.
do they have to get a background check on
The FFL is the customer, or is that the license?
The FFL, they should be the customer, and it should be
The gun.
the gun dealer.
Oh, okay.
So, but if you talk about the gun dealer,
Uh-huh. So the unlicensed gun dealer doesn't have to do a background check.
yeah, he doesn't.
He can
have,
sell it to anybody.
yeah, he doesn't have to do it legally background check or anything. He could do it if he wants to, though.
Oh.
However, I think if he does a background check, I think he'll still sell the weapon. He just wants to know what he's dealing with.
So you're saying that on the other point about the government funding to licensed gun dealers, are you saying that they should give them money to buy back guns that are off the street that are not licensed? Somebody could drop off a gun there they could buy it back. No
If-
questions asked.
Can you repeat that one more time?
So you're saying the government you want them to fund the gun store. So you're saying that you want the gun store to take the obligation of taking illegal guns off the street, and it's like a buyback situation.
I know that's wrong, because a lot of those weapons will get off like crime scenes.
Uh-huh.
However, honestly, I do think it's right in my opinion, because they can still use that weapon in other ways. So yeah, I think they should take the guns that don't pass the background check off from that person. Any other questions?
Question. So you're, so let's say this guy has a gun, right? But he's not licensed, but he wants to give that gun back. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Would he be in trouble? Would he get? How would that work?
He wouldn't be in trouble at all. Just the background check. If he's good on that, then but if pretend he doesn't pass it, that's probably like where the only trouble should be at.
So what if he had a criminal record?
Then and he did the background check with the
No. Let's say he has a criminal record, and then he just say, you know what, I want to do the right thing. So here's my gun. So what would happen in that situation? Would I get myself into trouble? Am I gonna go to jail? What would happen in that situation?
No, you wouldn't get in trouble at all.
At all?
Yeah, at all. It's just we hope the licensed dealer doesn't want to find that like in any crime scenes that could lead to that, so he could get in trouble. But no, you wouldn't get in trouble.
Okay.
So he just buys it back. No ask about the person.
Yeah, they're
or
not
anything,
gonna
just
ask
a
me
buyback.
questions and stuff like that.
Yeah.
My understanding is that there's already counties out there like Oakland who buy back no questions policy.
I
And
like
so,
that.
What I'm hearing from you is that your conclusion is that at 18 years old can you purchase a gun, and at alcohol you can only purchase it at 21 years old.
Yeah.
So there should be more stipulations as far as purchasing weapons. But do you feel that there should be a psychology clearance in order to purchase guns even at 21 years old?
Yeah, I think at 21 there should be a clearance. I even think that they should probably raise the age a little higher, like probably like 30, 25, because that's where usually people are probably more mature.
But then you have the freedom of speech, and you have the freedom of when you become an adult at 18 years old,
Yeah.
right? But really, what I'm understanding is you pick this topic because there's so much gun violence today,
Yeah, I picked this topic for that too.
and you're passionate about being able to regulate guns. Is probably the most important subject here today, right?
Yeah.
So my question for you is that do you think a psychology report should be evaluated before you purchase a gun?
Yeah, for every purchase, yeah. Even at 18, yeah. So,
What about for a minor? You know,
Minors?
I'm only 15. I have a gun, and I did what I did, and I just want to just give it up. Are they gonna ask me questions? Are they gonna go to my parents? You know what I mean? Because I don't want my parents to know.
Yeah.
You know, I'm 15 years old right now, and I got a gun, and I just want to get rid of it. How's that work?
no, he wouldn't take that. You actually contact police or parents, whoever you.
Because I'm a minor, so
Yeah,
I
minor.
don't know if they're gonna talk to my parents about this or what?
Yeah, because they could get in trouble, and there's
Also, we can't get in trouble.
yeah, you can get in trouble for a minor.
Got you.
Any other questions? No. Alright. Thank you guys.